Greetings, traveler. Come warm yourself by the fire and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, tales of Tamriel. I'm your host, Aggelos, and that awesome intro music that you just heard was brought to you by the amazingly talented Family Jewels. If you want to hear that song, which is called the Elder Scrolls Medley, as well as all of his awesome, amazing video game covers, check him out over at youtube.com/FamilyJewels7x. So, we are back with another episode, and with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Arkhaniir.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
Well, I am slowly turning into an Argonian named Needs More Sleep, so you figure. But I'm excited for it, that's for sure.
I know you said earlier that you made the mistake of falling asleep at a different time and sleeping most of the day, which now sets your schedule off, right?
Yeah, I mean, I never had a schedule to begin with, but my plan was to sleep at 8.
Okay.
Woke up at 8 p.m., which didn't go well, yeah.
Yeah, I know you struggle with sleep like crazy, so, I mean, that always sucks. I wish I could say I understand, but I don't.
You are one of those blessed people.
Oh yeah.
Can go to sleep instantly.
Oh yeah. Face hates me because I could be in the. I think I've told this story before, but I mean it's kind of relevant here. We were at a Christmas party at her parents', and her family. I mean, okay. I mean, I guess you could argue I'm loud, which is true. I'm loud when I'm speaking, but I'm generally actually very reserved as a person. So I'll say something if there's something worthy of speaking, but if not, then I don't. So I'm considered quiet by their family, if that's any indication. So, and of course they have a small apartment, and the one bedroom is like it's 2 bedrooms, and one's her sister and one's her mom. So like that meant myself, and at this point Ezra wasn't born yet. I don't for this particular story, but everyone's out in the living room, and that's where we obviously the living room and kitchen are together. So that's where Thais and I were sleeping, right, like on the couch. Everyone else is still eating, still laughing, still joking around, doing whatever it is, and I decide I'm tired. So it was funny because the way she's like, I don't get it. You literally just my cat just knocked on my camera and messed up my camera because that's what she does. But I literally just go, I'm tired, everyone. I'm going to bed. And I lay down and I was asleep. And everyone, they weren't trying to be quiet. They looked over at me and I was out. And her entire family struggles with sleeping. So her entire family hated me because of how easily it was. They kind of make fun. I'm kind of like one of the Dwemer automatons. I just shut off when I'm like, I'm tired. I go, I'm going to bed, and I flip a switch and I'm off. People at work do the same thing to me because every day at work, I get an hour for lunch or whatever, and I generally eat while I'm working, so it's not like I need the hour, but I take it anyway because I take a nap, and I get the full hour. Because I literally go out to my car and I'm out, just completely out. And my boss walked by before. He's like, I don't get it. Like, he literally goes, I'm out, and he's gone. And he wakes up exactly 1 hour later because I set my alarm and I get up, and that's it. So
if I try to get like an hour nap, I end up not sleeping for the first 50 minutes, and then when I do manage to sleep, there's no way I'm waking up after that 10 minutes because I just slept. And then it turns into a full-on sleep. And yeah, I end up in this situation. But it's definitely a blessing. Yeah. Either my side is a curse or your side is a blessing. I don't know which one, but either one of those is true.
I don't know. I think it's got to be your side of that. But so before we get into our gameplay, I got to say, give a couple shout outs to a few awesome people who support us now over on Twitch, because you can subscribe to us over there at twitch.tv/Dungeon Crawler Network. We're up a couple people. We actually had 3 this week, which is amazing. So I want to give a shout out to Baron Dalton, BDog52, and I'm going to try to pronounce this last one because it's going to be really, really hard for me. Ikazugami. All right, that's what it's going to be. Thank you so much, guys, and I apologize if I, terribly butchered your Twitch name, but hey, I did my best. So thank you so much, guys, for supporting us. That goes over to support what we do here at the Dungeon Crawler Network, and my mic just rolled over. And so that is very much appreciated. We really appreciate that. So I wanted to shout those people out. And of course, we had Lord Obi last week, and Meow's Bark re-upped her sub again. So that's really appreciated. So we really do appreciate that. All right. Ark, it's Tales time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we've been doing in Tamriel.
Well, unfortunately, I haven't got, Elder Scrolls Online gameplay at all. I think I only did Veteran White Gold Tower, but that was it. Other than that, obviously the first item on my list, since actually I'll leave that to last, so you get to speak about yours as well. I'm back in Skyrim. I decided to play some Skyrim because my brother restarted it, and you can't just resist playing Skyrim if there's someone in the same household that is also playing it. So I got back to it, and I'm playing with a character that is using two-handed great axe, which doesn't work even on Skyrim, let alone Elder Scrolls Online as a tank, but it doesn't work on Skyrim either. Because you run out of stamina real quickly.
Oh yeah.
You hit someone twice, and then your damage is completely gone. Mm-hmm. And when they hit you back, you don't have spells, because your both hands are full. You can't cast spells. So it's been difficult. But what I wanted to talk about is the story of this character that I'm playing in Skyrim. I decided, actually I didn't have this in mind when I first started that character, but eventually I felt like, okay, this fits. So my Elder Scrolls Online character is Jürgen Keinson, which in Elder Scrolls Online in Second Era started, he was born in Riverwood, but his parents die at an early age, so he gets not adopted, but he starts hanging out at the Temple of Kain in Whiterun. He grows up with the temple, temple folk take care of him, which they name him Keinson because of that. And he spends his life, guarding the pilgrims to Elder Gleam. Wait, what was the name of the tree? Elder Gleam, I think.
Elder Gleam, I think, is what you're looking for.
Elder Gleam, yeah. He escorts the pilgrims and whatnot. He acts as a guard, like a warrior priest for the temple. And then the events of the main quest of Elder Scrolls Online happens. He fights Morlock Baal. He gets Amulet of Kings being used on him to achieve that, the main story power thing.
Yep.
After that, after being host of that divine power, he ends up being immortal. Not really he still can be killed, but he doesn't age after that point. Okay. So he goes on to live. Since I played Oblivion as a Nord as well, he goes on to live this events of Oblivion 2. So he fights in the Oblivion Crisis as well, becomes the hero of Kvatch, and from there, he goes on to live the events of Skyrim. So that's my that's Jürgen Keinson, like an immortal Nord. He just hangs around from game to game, from era to era. So that's who the character is, which is why I also went with the two-handed sword.
Yeah.
Even though in Elder Scrolls Online I use one-handed sword, let's not get that wrong. But
you don't want to be known as a sex plar, do you?
Yeah.
What's going on
Just
here?
I shouldn't give you any openings because I'm pretty sure you are going to use them.
You are pretty much correct there, sir.
Yeah. So what I did in Skyrim is two things. First, I got lost for the first time. I actually got lost in some ruins in Skyrim. I was looking for this power of power word of power, you know, which someone brings you a letter saying that, okay, there's a word of power here, go get it.
That's in the later half, right? Like that, the letters don't come till after you discover so many of them, isn't it? Right? Like I could have swore, like
it's actually after the main quest. After you've finished the main quest.
Okay.
It's a way of games letting you know where the stuff are.
I see.
In case you don't want to deal with either Partnucks or Blades to tell you where they are, I guess. Which my character doesn't really care about, so I follow the letters, and I actually got lost in one of these dungeons. I delved deeper and deeper into the dungeons and spent about an hour. Like, I see the marker. I'm on the same level as I'm in the same room. The marker shows that I'm in the same room as the Word of Power, but I just wasn't able to get to it. Because, unlike many of the dungeons, I had to go up, not down, which I kept going down. So I spent like an hour there getting lost, and it took me a while to figure that out. And after that, I actually did the Dragonborn questline.
Okay.
Which I have a question here. So, in the Dragonborn DLC questline, you fight Mirak, which claims to be the first Dragonborn. And he says something along the lines of, here fights like the first Dragonborn against the last Dragonborn. How is Mirak? Is Mirak actually the first Dragonborn? Or does he mean something else by being the first Dragonborn? Because as far as I'm concerned, the first Dragonborns isn't Mirak. I'm a bit lost there, so I thought I'd bring that up.
You know, and it's funny that you say that, because I don't know if that was something like his own twisted fantasy or something along those lines, because you're right. Technically speaking, it would have been the Dragonborn would have been the first Dragonborn would have been Raymond of the Second Dynasty, because he was born out of the mound after what's his face had intercourse with the ghost of Alessia, and Raymond was born. He would have technically been the Dragonborn, because that was like the covenant that Akatosh had with Alessia. You know, that the blood of her, you know, would be Dragonborn. So like, you know, as you're going through the storyline, the Dragonborn was always someone tied to the Amulet of Kings. So that too. Maybe he was one of the first who could use the Thume, but being able to use the Thume didn't necessarily make you Dragonborn, because if that were the case, then why was not all of the Greybeards considered Dragonborn? They weren't. Yeah. They could use the Thume after years and years of study, but not the other way around. So, like, that's what I know of his history. I may be missing something, but in my eyes, the first Dragonborn would have been Raymond, because I don't think Alessia had children in her mortal life anyway. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Yeah.
Cryptic Rob in chat says, according to Hermanus Mora and the people of Solstheim, he is. So, I like half of the quest line I did a long time ago before I restarted playing, so I don't remember. But
yeah, that's kind of like
Hermanus Mora pretty much knows everything, but it is also possible that he was just lying to, keep Mirak's ego up there. So something like that, I guess. Since he's a Daedric prince, and
I was gonna say, like, it's not above him to lie about such a thing. Because I mean, he's forbidden knowledge, but I mean, doesn't necessarily mean he had to say yes or nay or whatever. So I don't know. I agree, with what SDMF Cryptic Rob is saying, about according to Hermaeus Mora and the people of Solstheim, but I guess at the same time, the thing that I think about is the people of Solstheim. That's the one thing I love most about Elder Scrolls is the lore is told from the point of the people, but people are fallible, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's kind of like in my mind. I'm sitting there going, maybe, but at the same time, I don't think that, that it is what it is.
Yeah.
I guess so. That's my thought of the whole thing.
Yep. Thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah.
Since lore stuff.
Yeah, I love lore stuff. So. Yeah.
So beyond that, there's one thing. Since I actually figured out how to duel in Elder Scrolls Legends on mobile, we actually decided to duel with Ag for just one game, and I was actually doing pretty good. I was actually doing pretty good. I started, obviously, since I'm playing against Ag. He started with all the nice cards that he can play right away, while I had my first cards were 5 to 6 mana, so I wasn't able to play them. But then I got up there, I reconfigured what I'm doing, and I actually, at one point, got the board superiority as well. And I dropped one of my best cards, which was going to hit Ag, but it was pretty much going to be a kill shot. Because it gets +1/+1 attack and defense for each minion that is killed from my side, and at that point it was 11 to 11 attack and defense. It had something like that. It was a kill shot. And then Ag comes on with his RNG.
What
he played?
Wasn't it you killed something that I thought this was the one where you killed something I had those golden saints and you killed those off, and you killed something that was pull out one of the cards that was on your discard pile, and it so happened to be the golden saints again.
So the Golden Saint card is that you play it on one lane, and if you have more health, I think, than your opponent, it duplicates itself, and it is on both lanes, and it has Taunt or Guard as it's called in Elder Scrolls Legends, and you can't attack the player unless you kill that card first. So I killed both of these cards on both lanes. Then I attack Ag. I think you draw a prophecy card or something like that when your health went low.
I think it was a javelin to allow me to destroy anything.
Yeah, then he has this card that allows him to grab one of the cards that is already killed, that is in his discard pile, and he draws that Golden Saint again, which duplicates once more on both lanes with guard, and suddenly I lose my lane superiority, and suddenly I can't hit him for the kill shot, and I lose one round, which is enough for him to kill me. I drew I drew a sweet roll with a similar card. That's what I drew from my discard pile. I drew a sweet roll that is 0 to 0. That doesn't have any damage or anything. It's just a sweet roll, and you drew the Golden Saint, the one card that would save you. So yeah, that happened, and I lost, obviously. I mean, I had to know, as Scoots is saying in chat, I should have known better than fighting you on an RNG-based game. That's the one thing I shouldn't have done.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
See, he doesn't even have anything to say. He's
I really don't.
Yeah.
No, it was disgusting, but disgusting in my favor. A couple things that I want to hit it from chat while they're asking, and chat's active, so that's awesome. First up, going back to what we talked about with the lore again, Cryptic Rob, apparently Mirat was a dragon priest from the Mythic era, so that may date. No, that would definitely date it. Like, I mean, Mythic era is that unknown amount of time that, was so long ago and so undefined. It could have been 10 years, it could have been 10,000 years. You really don't know. That and the Dawn era don't actually have dates like of recordable time. They're just a thing. But were the dragon priests considered dragonborn? I mean, they were priests for the dragons, but that didn't necessarily mean they were dragonborn. I feel like I'm losing my lore here, and it's driving me nuts. But I don't think that necessarily made them dragonborn, because dragonborn, I was almost positive that the dragonborn were blessed of Akatosh, not necessarily the dragons themselves. Does that seem right to you, Ark?
Yeah.
Like, that seems like right to me.
I remember watching a video talking about Dragonborns and the bloodline of Septim, and on that video, or in the comments, I don't remember, but they mentioned that there may be, at least, this may even be on Reddit, I don't know, that there may be two different kinds of Dragonborn. One is from the bloodline, like the Septim bloodline, which aren't necessarily able to use the tomb or able to consume the dragon souls. Then again, we don't really have a way to know this, because the Septim line, when the Septim line was alive, there weren't dragons around to show off if they can consume their souls and whatnot. And the other thing they mentioned, I don't remember what they called it, but it is something like a sky shard, but with Akatosh's essence. And there is only one of this, which switches from Dragonborn to Dragonborn a long time, like Heritance.
Yeah.
From one soul to another soul. And that's the Dragonborn that we play as in Skyrim, which isn't from the bloodline. Like, his Dragonborn powers isn't from the bloodline, but from that piece of essence or whatever it is that eventually ended up in him or whatever. Which is also the reason he is not a Northern Imperial, but he can be like an elf or a Khajiit and whatnot.
No,
at least that's how
he cannot be an elf.
Well, in Skyrim you can choose an elf and still play.
That's wrong.
I know. I'm just explaining what. I'm not going to let an elf be Dragonborn as well, but that's just how it was explained. So yeah, that if that's the case, perhaps he mentions the first Dragonborn Mirak mentions is with that essence, while the other Dragonborns from Remen and whatnot, they are the bloodline Dragonborns. Perhaps there's something like that, but I'm not sure if this is canon in the lore or not. I just remember reading or watching this.
Right.
That's it.
Gotcha. Next up, Scooter hates me and my RNG. Should have known better. Even Pete Hines can't pull that kind of draws. Yeah, I know. But don't worry, I got it coming to me at some point, and I will tell you here in a second. Next up, what deck do you play, Ag? Yellow, purple? Yes, actually, it is a variation of the base build you get just from doing the story, Imperial Might. I love the willpower purple deck. Because I played it multiple times, and I played a couple people. It doesn't start off very strong, and I'll talk about this. You know what? I'll talk in my tales. I'll explain my deck in my tales whenever I get to that point. So anyway, yeah, continue your story.
Yeah, that was about it.
Well, then there we go.
I lost. What more do you want?
Yeah. Well. All right. Well, all right. Let me go over my tales. What I've been doing in Tamriel. So first off, I know last week I talked about the dragon set, the Parthenite or the Alduin set. I eventually gave up and went back to my purple yellow deck because I love my Imperial Might deck. But
actually, yours I think is strength yellow red, not yellow purple.
No, that's like the Crusader deck. That's different than what mine is. Mine is
Okay.
purple, which is Imperials mostly. I mean, mostly Imperials. I mean, there's other things, but the most iconic thing is like the idea of the Imperial style, or what is that? I can't remember exactly what stat is assigned to purple anymore. But anyway, that's regardless of this. So like the dragon set was pretty nice. Alduin was like really powerful, but he was so expensive to get. I don't know. He was just so freaking expensive that it got to the point where I don't know. The only way you could effectively play him would be to freaking like I don't know.
You probably have to go like full endurance, full purple.
Yeah, is it purple?
Just
like
prolong
the
game
deck.
for as long as you can.
You'd either have to do like a
Hiss
hiss deck or something to make it viable, because normally by the time you have enough magicka to play him, you're dead or the game's over. Yep. Most games don't go that long. Obviously if you play Alduin, it's over, right? Like that's an I win card, but by that late in the game, if you can make it that far, there was a good chance that you were probably going to win anyway, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. Like that's kind of my thought on the thing. Like it was okay, but I just didn't enjoy playing that Magicka stack deck. I know some people really do, but I don't know. I don't. I think it's boring, and I prefer the other decks. So, man, I cannot figure out how to make this potion either. So next up, I actually had to run a Redguard deck just to finish it daily, because it was on my list forever. It was one of those where you had to use like items. Well, none of my decks ever use items, so I had to run like the Redguard deck that uses lots of items. So I made a special deck for that to finish that daily, and that went okay. Like that wasn't bad. I thought that went pretty well. So followed up. Let's see. I made a complete junk deck because I had a daily that required me to do 10 prophecies, right? Like just something was like you have to play a bunch of prophecy cards. So the idea of the deck was actually just to lose. Like I wasn't making it to win. So I literally made this deck and loaded it with as many prophecy cards as I could. Like any random prophecy card. I didn't even care what it did. I just so out of 50 cards, there was 35 of them were prophecy. That way if a rune broke, you were almost guaranteed to get a prophecy. Almost. Yep. It was a very high percentage. So it was just it wasn't a deck that I made to win. It was one I did just to finish a daily quest. Just cause, I mean, hey, that's what happens. So did that. I mean, obviously I've been playing a lot of Legends because that's my toilet game. Like my paladin brother of Arwen over at Elder Scrolls Off the Record. I mean, it's better than reading a magazine at this point. It's like, hey, gotta use the restroom. Well, give me my phone. We gotta play some Legends. It's the best. That's kind of one of the reasons why I was waiting to play Legends for so long too, because I played the beta build of it, when the invite and stuff like that, because I thought it was a lot of fun. But obviously, with any card game, my idea is, if I'm on my computer, I have access to other games like ESO and stuff like that. Why would I play a card game when I can play, more demanding games, right? Just why would I do that? So, wow. Oh, there we go. For a second, I'm like, oh man, I just froze up my entire thing. But yeah, so I just didn't really have a desire to play it on my computer. I know Ark was even saying, "Hey, we should play Legends on stream." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll have to do that another week when I actually install Legends on my computer again, because why would I not play on the phone?" So I got rid of that deck. I was playing the Dunmer Avengers deck, which is green purple, I think. That
purple.
oh,
it
I'm
might
gonna
be blue.
Maybe it's I think it's blue.
There's a lot of blue in Dunmers, or a lot of Dunmers in blue.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up my legends just to check, but I think you're right. I think it's blue. Blue-green is the color that I used. I've been playing around with a lot of decks trying to find one that I really like. I mean, I really liked the... Oh, man, stupid Legends signed me out, so I don't want to type on my phone. But yeah, so if it was the main story, like if you play the main story, you get that card deck, right? Like you unlock it by doing the story, and it's called Dunmer Avengers or Revengers or Dunmer Avengers. Now I modified it slightly. I took the deck and I added a few cards. I changed some stuff around. So it's not the base, but I kept the theme, obviously. So that's what I was doing. And I mean, it was okay, but then I settled on I guess it's called Spell Sword. That's what it is. Spell Sword is the one that I'm thinking of, which is purple and purple and yellow. I think that's referred to as Spell Sword when you make your own deck. Now, I don't really call it Spell Sword because it does. I look almost everything I have is Imperials, because the thing with my Imperials is they don't start off strong. I don't really have any card in my deck which is like a super heavy hitter. You know, like when you drop one and it's like a 9 of 9 or something, 9/9. I don't have anything like that. But
Can I stop you real quick?
Yeah.
Can we ban a subscriber?
Can we ban a subscriber?
Yeah, can we hit a subscriber with the ban hammer? Because
Baron! I don't... As much as I love the money there, dude, I don't know. That's almost a ban-worthy statement. Now, one of our Twitch subscribers says, Talos is not real. Elven supremacy is the only truth. I think that's a bannable offense.
heresy.
I definitely think that's a bannable offense. I don't know if I can deal with that. Oh, it hurts my soul, man. Oh. Okay. All right. Now you just broke me of everything that I was gonna say, because I can't stop thinking about that. Like it's such a fallacy. It's like one of those things where like people going, the ancient aliens guys are like the flat Earth people. You're just sitting there going, seriously, like seriously, like that's the level of like fallacy that this is. I can barely deal with that. But anyway, wow, killing me. Nern is flat. I think we're just being trolled at this point. Yeah, the show's over, guys. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Now
we gotta go cry.
Yeah, we're gonna go cry in the corner for your souls at this point, because clearly you'll never make it to Sovngarde thinking that way. So forever lost in some elven Daedric hell. That's pretty much all it is. Anyway, so I found the Spell Sword deck, and as I was saying earlier, I have no cards that are super heavy. Actually, I don't think I have a single card that is above a 4 in either power or health. Like, that's not how the deck works. The deck works in that you have a lot of cards that buff other cards. Like, you get like these 1/2s, like Imperial Trainer or something like that. So what she literally does is anytime you summon an ally, she adds like +1 to their health, +1 to their, I think it's +1 to both, or it might only be 1, but regardless, I think it's like +1 to their attack. And it's for every single one that's added, right? So, it's so like that's how I win decks. Like if I even have ones that literally are called Imperial Reinforcements, which fill my lane with 1/1s, like literally 1/1s. That's all they are. and
and
it's
suddenly
fantastic.
they become 2/2s or 3/3s, and
2/2,
you
2/2,
can't deal with
2/2.
them.
Yep. And then of course, then I have like things like the Imperial Legionnaire, who gives +1/1/1 to every friendly unit. It's just massive amounts of boosting up characters. So like you see like this whole row of 1/1, so you kind of ignore them, and all of a sudden I do like Rallying Horn, and everyone gets like 4/1s for a turn, and then all of a sudden you're looking at this one line of Imperials that were originally 1/1s. Now they're all like 5/5, and you're like, oh. In one turn they took down 70% of my health. It's amazing, and I've been having so much fun with that deck. Like, so much fun.
One way to deal with that is have a card with both guard and regenerate, like from the purple line, and then buff it up with as many items as you can, so it just doesn't die in that lane, unless they have a card like 9/9 or something like that. So that's one way to do it. But
Piercing Javelin, which is willpower, yellow, which allows you to destroy. I actually have 4 destroy cards in my deck. 3 Piercing Javelins and 1 Edict of Azura, which allows me... The Edict of Azura is actually super useful because it allows me to destroy any character or any support that somebody has. So those are my straight up denies. So
I should add something like that as well.
Yeah.
But this just doesn't really exist on red and purple.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. See, I don't know a lot of the other decks, so forgive me, but yellow has the Piercing Javelin, and Edict of Azura is actually a dual card. It's a dual spec card, so you can't use it unless you're purple yellow, because it's both. Yeah. So, and Isha, welcome Isha to the chat room. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. We really appreciate it. The chat room is like really awesome tonight. It's got quite a few people in there.
We love you guys.
We do love you. And by the way, I don't know how interesting this is going to be, but after this episode is over, I'm going to continue to stream tonight. But by continuing to stream, it's not just going to be gameplay. I'm actually going to stream creative after this. And I'm going to be doing some podcast editing and video editing and stuff like that. So if that's something that interests you, I don't know why it would, but if it is something that interests you, you can continue watching and the conversation continue. And once I'm done editing like the 3 podcast episodes that I have to edit, we'll probably either play some ESO or Guild Wars 2 or something along those lines. Maybe even Darkest Dungeon. I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyway. So there we go. Now I closed the thing that actually had everything that I needed on there.
Here comes the best part.
The best part.
My favorite part.
Your favorite part. So you know how we talked about my RNG had come to an end. So I was playing, and of course, my favorite person in the world, Nerdman, who is going to... Nerdman. You know how he crushes my dreams in PvP? Well, it turns out...
Too. Not just yours.
Like he crushes dreams in PvP. And it sounds like we got to follow. So Gamer Girlfriend 68. Oh, Gamer Girlfriend 68. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. We really do appreciate everyone who follows us over at twitch.tv/Dungeon Crawler Network. Definitely trying to build up this audience because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on this channel coming forward. Actually, also, anyone who's listening, I am looking for an artist to help spruce up the channel. So if you're listening, can draw fairly well and good at digital art. I am not. Please let me know because I'm looking to redo the channel in the theme of our logo, which is the Dungeon Crawler, and probably also possibly like my avatar image to be thrown in there as well. If you think that's something you can handle, send me a message either on our Discord or on Twitter at Aggelos, AGGELOS_WOF. We can discuss the details, whether or not you're able to do it, and of course the price for it, because obviously it's all custom work, and definitely gonna I think I said it to someone before. I have no problem paying artists because it's not something I can even do. I just absolutely cannot do it myself. And if I tried, it would look slapdash at best. So we can discuss all of that feature. So if anyone that's something you interest you, I need to do some offline images, panels, and possibly emotes. So let me know. Let me know if that's something you want to take on. All right. So anyway, back to the story. Nerdman crushed my dreams in ESO PvP. I mean, like, hard. Like, really, really hard. So I'm playing, and he goes, we got to play next. So we play, and I'm playing my Imperial Might deck. And I mean, Nerdman will tell you it was close. I mean, it kind of was in terms of health. Oh, but he crushed me. Like, and not only one time, but he's like, he taunted me on. He's kind of like one of those Vegas guys who like, who are the scammers who are like, clearly, if you bet me again, you'll clearly win this time. So I was foolish enough to go at him again, and I lost again. And so, yeah, he crushed me, and crushed me hard. So, and that's why it's Ark's favorite, because obviously he beat me.
It was my revenge.
Yeah.
Not like I didn't do it myself, but I still feel satisfied.
You still yes.
Yeah.
You should go fight Nerdman. He'll crush you too. He just crushes everyone's dreams. I
lost my entire confidence once by going against Nerdman in ESO. I'm not going to do that again.
Oh yeah, no, it's disgusting in how good he is, and
I'm still not over that defeat in less than 10 seconds that happened in ESO.
Scooter and Mirnat, Scooter in chat goes, Nerdman is the Dream Crusher in any and all games, followed by Mirnat. I dueled Nerdman today in Legends. Did not go so well for me.
Yep.
That is a common theme that I'm seeing here, so don't feel too bad, because I don't think anyone who's dueled Nerdman has ventured well. So, yeah, it was, he crushed me hard. Yeah. Then he tried to make me feel better about it and be like, oh, you almost had me. I'm like, you're just saying that. You're going to make me not go, like, slip my wrist or something. But, yeah, so he did that. Now, the last thing I did was actually an ESO. And apologies to everyone who was here last night. I was actually streaming some ESO, and real life happened. I thought it was only going to be a couple minutes, and it turned out to be all night. So I cut the stream short. I'm like, sorry guys, I'll be back in a couple minutes. And I noticed people were even chatting in stream because they thought, I said I'd be back in a few minutes, which was the plan. It just didn't turn out that way. But I was playing a little bit of ESO, and I did one quest that I wanted to talk about because it's Hrothgar related, and the reason why I want to talk about it is because, they forced my hand. I was doing the main storyline where you have to aid all the different orc tribes to get them to go behind King Kurog, right? No one wants to come help Kurog because he's crazy, and so you have to help them, so you kind of blackmail them into helping Kurog. That's at least how I'm reading it. So I'm going up and I'm helping the Shatal clan, and I don't want to go too deep into the story for anyone who hasn't done it. This is in Hrothgar, by the way. But if you have, you'll probably know what it is, but I'm not going to get into tons of details. But when you're here at this clan, you get there, and the chief is dying. I specifically don't remember why he's dying, but the cause isn't really too big of a deal outside of a later patch. Later on, it's kind of a big deal because they explain some issues with why he's dead or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so as I'm trying to kick my cat off my lap, while you're there and you're doing the quest, you have two contenders. One is a guy who is an exile from another clan because he was too weak to defend his clan from from whatever it was that wiped out his clan. So he's kind of an outcast, but now that the other guy's dying, he's stepping up and saying, all right, I would have never done this before, but I'm going to do it now because we need a strong chieftain, So, fine, right? Okay, we'll help you out here. So, we go, and the second one is disguised as someone called Ulgash. Turns out that it is a female, which they're a traditional orc clan, so having a female leader is a big no-no. And thank you, Spooky Boy Love. Wow, these names, I tell you, for the follow. Much appreciated. Anyway, so you go back and you tell the Hearth wife, the Forge wife, I think it's the Forge wife, that, hey, you have these two contenders for the chieftainship, and she hates both of them. Like, she's like, the exile, he obviously can't be it because he's an exile. He's awful. Don't you even think about it. Well, whatever. I'm going to do it anyway because I don't like you. The other one was like, she's a girl. We're traditional. They'll never accept her. So she tells me, all right, they're going to go duel it out because that's what orcs do, to find out who is the leader of, going to be the leader of the clan. And she's like, what I want you to do, she gives you a sword and said, it has a flawed core. It will definitely break. All right. So you got to go give it to whoever you think is the weakest. That way they can't trick their way into this and live. And I'm sitting there like, you could say no. Like I did. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But she forces your hand. There's no way to get around it. It's like, it's going to happen. You're going to do this thing. And tries to throw some Malakath crap at me. And I'm not even an orc, but whatever. So I pick one, and of course they die, and I feel really dirty about it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Plus, I accidentally picked the wrong one, and so I killed the one that I actually wanted to live, and I wasn't going to, restart it. So, yeah, that was my ESO story. I was just really, really upset the fact, she's like, you're going to do this. I'm like, well, no, I'm not. They give you the option to say no, but in the end, it's like, man, I don't care what you say, it's going to happen, so make your choice. Yeah. So, unfortunately...
I'm okay with, forced decisions in MMORPGs, because at some point you have to have limitations, you can't be as free as a single-player game, I guess.
Yeah.
But to have a forced option on a thing like that, when your lore... when your universe has a race that is obsessed with honor and glory, to reach Sovngarde, you force half of your potential, well, maybe not half, but all your North players to do this dishonorable, tricky thing. And especially for a combat, a duel to the death, that's not a cool forced option.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And the worst part is some people well, just don't do the quest. You can't if you ever want to finish. You literally can't skip this quest because it's part of the main story. You have to do it. Send Rich an email. Yeah, I gotta send Rich Lambert an email. It's not cool, dude. Yeah, I was like, no, I didn't want to do it, but there's no way around it, and yeah. I was kind of upset about that because I didn't. I kind of like the male more than the female anyway. Ulgosh and the other one, which happened to be her uncle, because it was they're all family members too, so that was also added fun. But yeah, I ended up having to kill the guy, and I just didn't want to do it. I'm like, I don't want to kill this guy, and honestly, I don't. Why would I want to rig the election, so to speak, of the chieftain? That's not cool. Let them fight it out honorably and see who really wins. But you have to do it to complete the quest, and I was not very happy. So, all right. Wow, so much, so many things. I see Tempest Jordan 7 also signed up. I really appreciate that. I didn't hear the thing, but I really appreciate the follow, guys. It's really awesome. Okay, so that's going to end our Tales section. But before we move on to the news, which we have tons to talk about for once, Wow, do we have another fall? I just heard the message. Oh, there's Tempest Storm. I just see it now. Took a second. It was delayed. That was weird. Anyway. Oh, Patreon. If anyone wants to support us on at a different rate than, what Twitch offers or whatever the case may be, you can head over to patreon.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. These guys are the lifeblood of our network. That we have some amazing fans who they're the best, and they've been supporting us for many, many months now, and helps offset the cost of the network and all the stuff that I've been throwing in. So I really do appreciate that. So if you are so inclined, patreon.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. We don't actually have any other form of affiliates, anything like that. We're not a podcast where you'll hear us, go to this or go here or go there or whatever the case may be. Is we are a completely fan-run show. So, I mean, technically that's even true when I was paying for it, because I'm a fan who just wanted to talk on a mic. So, even when I was paying for it was fan-run. But it's everyone who supports us, they're wonderful, and we really do appreciate it. Kat, seriously, Khajiit, stop it. Trying to get rid of the cat, and she just won't leave. Anyway, all right, Ark, it's time for news. Are you still there? Oh. Boop. There we go. Still there, Ark?
Okay. Yep, I'm here.
Gotcha.
Discord does it every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then it... Stupid. Anyway, we're up to news, Ark.
All right. So, we are going to start with one quick to mention, and then we are going to move on to the news, which is, well, we do have, as you said, quite a lot. Mm-hmm. So currently, the Imperial City Anniversary event is going on, and it will continue to do so until September 18. What this is it's to celebrate the, anniversary of Imperial City DLC, which you can buy for 1,250 crowns, or if you want the Imperial Edition Collector's Edition, you can buy that for 3,300 crowns, which is discounted prices. What you are going to get during this event is that if you go into Imperial City, you will get double Tellar stones, double chance of picking Stonefire Scamp, or the Soul Shriven skin, which is quite rare, so this might be one chance to get that. You'll also get double amount of K fragments, as well as double amount of sacks dropped by Cunning Scamps and Throw Scamp. And this will continue, as I said, until September 18. This was just a quick to mention. Now, yeah, go ahead.
I will say a few things as I'm sending a message to my wife to bring my water down when you come down. There. Everyone got to hear me send a message, because obviously with podcasting, I need to drink water. Hydrate, yes. I really like this event. Now, there has been some complaints. I specifically was talking to Nate, a.k.a. Misa. He's been sending me a bunch of text messages throughout the week, specifically living the dream where he was both playing Imperial City and playing Legends at the same time. Like, he's sitting on his couch playing ESO while having his tablet on his lap playing Legends. I'm like, dude, that's living the dream, man. I'm just saying. That's
best use of multitasking.
Yeah, I mean, that right there. That you can't get much better than that. And I was like, dude, rock on. So yeah, definitely that was something that he was mentioning, that the problem with this event is that Cyrodiil proper now is just there's nothing, right? Like, no one's doing it, just because why would you when a double event's going on? So like, you go to Cyrodiil and it's empty. It's barren. Yeah, it's so that's kind of an issue. And of course, now also the other issue, okay guys, we need to buy a mini fridge and a urinal to put next to Ag's desk. Maybe that'll be a patron fund or something. I don't know. That'll be a patron goal. If we hit so much money, I'll get a mini fridge and like a chemical bucket next to my computer, so that way I can just podcast nonstop. I don't know if anyone would want to see that. But the other issue that we've been seeing, which I don't know if it's really an issue, but it's just something that's different. Imperial City's kind of been more of a smaller base thing since it's been launched, but now because of the event, people are running in Zergs of like 20, 30 people or higher. So solo players are just getting crushed, right? Or not even solo players, even small group players are just getting crushed because, well, you know, let's face it, it's like you go in to do anything in this area and you're just going to get run over by a giant Zerg.
I mean, yeah, but there is no way of avoiding that.
No, there's not. It's just the people who have been playing Imperial City and enjoy the content for what it is, are now like, I don't know. I mean,
this is an MMORPG. They can always try to join a group that is large, like try to be a part of the Zerg as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely
don't see
agree.
that as a problem.
I think it's a problem to some players, and I wanted to mention it because it has changed the way people are playing during this event. So if you were one of those people who like going in and maybe a either solo or duo or whatever, be prepared, because right now that's what you're going to find is tons of Zerg groups, because that's, you know, running all around. So if you enjoyed the small scale style that it was once upon a time, you're going to want to wait till the event's over, I think.
Yep.
All right.
So, on to the news, actual news. They released the article for the Clockwork City DLC and Update 16. Now, I created bullet points for it, so I won't read everything, but if you want to read everything, you can find it on the news section in ElderScrollsOnline.com, the official website. So basically, it will bring a new zone and new content to the game. The zone is, well, similar to like Hughes Bane or whatnot. It's a new zone, it's Clockwork City, with the primary hub being Brass Fortress. I don't know if that means anything in lore, but I'm not sure. It will bring 2 new world bosses. Oh, go ahead. All right.
No. I was going to say, I didn't think it particularly meant anything in lore, because, and actually this is something I wanted to touch on anyway, is I'm actually happy that it's a zone. I wasn't expecting it to be a zone. I was literally expecting it to be a much smaller thing where maybe like you poured in kind of like the dungeons were. So I'm really excited to see that it's a zone, because you get to experience a little bit of the Clockwork City in Morrowind, specifically when you go to find Sotha Sil. But it is refreshing to see that it is a zone. Yeah, it's only the size of Hughes Bane and but I don't know, like, yeah, I mean, that's, yes, would I have liked it to be bigger? Absolutely. I'm not going to say no. I mean, oh my goodness, I want smaller zones. No, I'm not going to say that's stupid. But, I mean, it's better than what I thought it was going to be. So I guess what I thought, I'm glad to say it's not going to be that way. So it's definitely a plus, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot more new places to take screenshots. So it's going to add 2 new world bosses, 2 new delves, a new trial, and of course quests and dailies. Now the main storyline apparently is related to a conflict between Daedric princes in Oblivion. I guess suspected that, because Sotha Sil has like agreements or whatever with many Daedric princes, like, right? Like, I remember reading or hearing something like that.
Yes, that's correct.
So if we get to see the details of it, I'll be so happy, because what kind of a person you are to make like pacts with many of the Daedric princes in person as well. Because as far as I know, he actually goes to the Daedric princes and like does whatever he does, I guess.
Well, you also got to take into account that Mr. Sothasil himself is at this point at least partially divine, right? Through the heart of Lorkhan, so he's insanely powerful. I mean, even if you look at Vivec holding Bardal above the world, that was a Daedric prince trying to destroy Vivec City, and he's like literally, nope, hard deny.
Yeah, but I mean, even in their like divine achieved forms, aren't they still very what's the opposite of superior?
Inferior?
Inferior, yeah, inferior to the power of Daedric princes. Because I mean, even if they are divines, well, not divines, but like achieved some divinity, Daedric princes are still Daedric princes. They're
true, but how many times have Daedric princes been thwarted in the past by any number of people? I mean, the heroes. But it's
like we don't fight them in their realm in person. We usually just prevent whatever they are doing in Nirn through many different ways. We just don't go ahead and actually fight the Daedric prince himself.
Oh yeah, no, he's insanely powerful. Like, it's just insanely powerful.
I mean, yeah, overall, if we get to see that, I'll be so happy, because it's always nice to see an overpowered character in person instead of just hearing about it or reading about it. So
right. Now, I don't know if you discussed this already, but did you see the concept art in the video or in the article that was showing off Sothasil?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Like, well, you're playing Morrowind now, so
yeah.
Have you gotten that far? Have you gotten to the Tribunal expansion?
No, I haven't seen them. I tried entering Vivec's temple, but I couldn't. Didn't let me in or something like that, so I don't know. Well, looking at this, he looks like a normal Dunmer, except for the Dwemer arm, which, if this is a skin or something like that, that will be so awesome.
It's actually probably completely Dwemer, which I'm happy about, because by the time you meet Sothasil in Morrowind, he's actually almost all machine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, on the art, it looks like his only like left arm is Dwemer machine, but either way, like it looks awesome.
I'm actually happy about that, just due to the fact that I didn't even think they were going to go that far.
Yeah.
Now, given, like everyone knows, I'm not very happy with Almalexia's model. Like, I thought they kind of cheaped out with her, especially in the beginning, which I think they probably didn't spend the time that Almalexia deserved. And that was a big concern of mine, especially because I said, if they kind of messed up Almalexia, who arguably is one of the easiest characters to do because she's the most normal of the two, how are they going to do it when it comes to Vivec or Sothasil, obviously? And I know the time, that was another thing I was kind of thinking that they were going to do is they were going to quote unquote cheap out by just back in this time they weren't that way, right? That was what I was imagining they were gonna do, but it turns out I was very pleasantly surprised that is not what they did, especially with Vivec. So I had a lot more hope once I saw Vivec, because they gave Vivec the time he deserved and actually made him look the way he was supposed to. Now, again, Sothasil is a unique beast because, let's face it, he is probably the strangest of all of them. And I thought, wow, I don't know how they're going to do it. So when I saw the art, I can't lie that I'm partially disappointed. But given the time period in which this is happening, I guess it makes sense, because at least they kept part of the metallic body, which being the arm. I'm kind of happy about that. Like I said, it's better than what I thought they were gonna do. But that was my thought. They had a lot they could ruin with him, and while I think they might have cheaped out a little bit, I think they did better than I thought they were going to do. So, I mean, that's a plus.
Also, it might be a skin because in the article under the trial, like in the screenshot that is the under trial section, one of the characters, like in-game screenshot, one of the characters' right arm is full Dwemer. Now that might be an armor, that might be a skin. I'm not sure, but either way, even maybe it's a new motif as well because it will bring new motifs to the game. But either way, it looks very awesome, and I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, where was I? So, the conflict between the Age of Princes and Oblivion, and the quest size, the story size apparently will be similar to Dark Brotherhood or Thieves Guild, which is not too bad in my opinion, because I still haven't finished either. Mainly because I I have to do daily quests to continue the story, which I hate, so I just can't go through it. So I just hope they don't do that as well. Again, like, let me do the quest. I don't care about dailies. I don't want to do repetitive stuff. Let me do the story and leave me be.
Right.
But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Dark Brotherhood and both Thieves Guild kind of hit that point where if you didn't do dailies, you weren't.
Yeah, you just can't get the story quest as well unless you do dailies.
Yeah, it kind of locks you with the story. Yeah, that's what I heard beeping. I guess that must have been you, but I'm sitting here going, "What is that beeping?"
I turned my AC off.
Oh no, that's fine. I just heard beeping. I'm like, is that my computer? Is it doing something?
Nope.
Should I be worried? But yeah. So okay, yeah.
Yeah. So about the new trial, it will be called Asylum Sanctorium.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. It will apparently it will be a shorter trial in comparison, and it will consist of 3 bosses, which are called Saint Olms, Saint Felms, and Saint Lolophus, or whatever.
Yes.
Which also the article mentions they will be mechanical bosses. So I don't know if like these saints are mechanical themselves, whoever these saints are and whatnot. Do you want to mention that or talk about it now or?
Yeah. No, we'll talk now. I know the unofficial Elder Scrolls page has posted a tweet about it, and here's something that's really fascinating if you didn't know. If you play Morrowind and specifically go to Vivec City, there's actually shrines to these people that you can, these different saints. These are 3 of the saints that they mentioned. Now, I guess part of the lore inconsistency would be the fact that they are robotic at this point. So, like, in my eyes, are these the actual saints that perhaps Sothasil had experimented on? Or is it just like the way you mock something, like made a statue of them or whatever, and, you know, it's not really them. He's just, you know, making fun of the saints that were there. The other thing was, and I'm not sure on this one, but with the time frame, were these saints alive at that point? Right? Like, that's also something to take into account.
I guess so, because like in Elder Scrolls Wikia, it says like Saint Olms is known to have founded the Ordinators, which are alive and like they are in Elder Scrolls Online and in Second
they're
Era.
the guards. Yeah, they're the guards.
So if he actually founded them, well, he gotta be alive.
Well, at least alive at some point. So, like, if he's already been known as a saint, okay, like, I guess at that point in time, the sainthood, at least and I'm contributing this to, like Christianity at this point, because obviously this is the religion that I am, and I have the most experience, so I could talk about it. Sainthood normally doesn't come till after a death. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, when someone is sainted, it's, and specifically, I know some people would probably be, I'm not Catholic, so maybe I'm not the best on this one, but a lot of times just from like Catholic history and stuff like that, saints didn't always happen till much later in time. Like, they were, a century later were they known as saints for whatever the reason that they, were sainted, whether it be martyrdom or did some great act for God, something along those lines. So the fact that they're already saints, does that mean that possibly they were captured by Sotha Sil, or everyone presumes them to be dead, but they're not really at this point.
Perhaps, or they died, and Sorasil just recreated them as the Dwemer machinery to guard Clockwork City or something like that.
That also is a good point.
Apparently, like Saint Felms, also known as a warlord, he defeated the Nord invaders and drove them from Morrowind. So these guys were probably quite powerful and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
So maybe Sorasil just recreated them. Something like that, but I don't know, like if that's canon, like if us fighting them in Clockwork City or whatnot is canon, or if it's lore breaking or whatnot. But
well, yeah. I mean, we've already had this discussion about lore in ESO, and I mean, if you want to talk lore breaking, the whole idea of Cyrodiil as a temperate forest in the Second Era is probably one of the largest things people bring up is going, yeah, that's insanely lore breaking at this point, you know, like I of all the things that they've done, this is probably one of the more minor. You're like, okay, all right, I got you, but probably one of the more minor issues that they've ever done. So
yeah. So from that else, you will get Asylum Weapons, which are, I guess, something like Maelstrom weapons or Master weapons.
They are the new Maelstrom are, like you said, Master. Yeah.
Now here's the interesting part.
Okay.
You will be able to choose how and when to face each boss, or if you want to go straightly for the main boss, in which case you fight all three bosses at the same time, and like you can customize how you go through the trial, which apparently will change the difficulty of the trial. So like if you go for the main boss directly, it will be, I guess, the most difficult one because you will be fighting all three of them at the same time. Or maybe there is a buff queue or something like that that change. So basically you can customize how you do the dungeon and figure it out how it best fits your group's playstyle. But also, depending on how you complete the dungeon, the rewards apparently will change as well. So this is interesting. This adds a lot of replayability to the trial other than just for farming it. So, and I quite enjoy this. I don't know how it will work exactly, but
I mean, this system has been done in other games, so I mean, it's not anything too strange. Like, I've seen other ones do it, like, so you kill the bosses, right? They actually, while the boss is up, one fight in particular that I can remember that is most reminiscent of this is Freya, the Freya boss in World of Warcraft in, Ulduar. Obviously, they were all named after Norse gods, but this was Freya. She was a nature boss, so you could see her patrolling, right? So she's in there patrolling, doing her thing. There were two bosses in the... Well, three, actually. I think there were three. Well, the numbers are irrelevant. I think it was three. And they actually all funneled strength into her, right? Yeah. So the hard mode achievement was actually just attacking her without killing the Guardians first. All the Guardians came to attack at the same time. So you were dealing with the Guardians and her, who had all these buffs on her. As you killed the Guardians, it stripped buffs off of her, whether it would be, extra damage, extra health, extra healing, whatever it was. Like, you could make it easier by doing bosses. And there was also achievements for going, oh, you've stripped the health, but you left the other things on. So this kind of thing has been done, and I definitely like it. It definitely makes for a lot of fun and a lot of achievement hunting at that point too, because you can really add achievements of killing the boss while this person's alive, killing while this one's alive, killing while none's alive. You can make the content very repeatable at that point, and I like that. I definitely like that a lot.
I'm looking forward to it because, as I'm not an MMORPG player, and this will be the first time I actually, do a dungeon or whatever like this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Now, the most, I guess, discussed part of this DLC is the transmutation, the item retrating. Yeah, they will be able to change the traits of both weapons and armor. It will use a consumable called Transmutation crystals, which are available in veteran dungeons and trials, as mentioned in the article. But Rich Lambert also confirmed on Twitter after Fengrush asked about it being a PvPer, whether if these crystals would be available as PvP rewards, and they will be also available in like rewards of the worthy stuff or something like that. So they will be available to PvPers as well.
Okay.
And the reason this is... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, the only thing that, like... Here's the thing we don't know. And, I mean, we don't know it for both PvP, and we don't know it for PvE as well. What is the rate that these things are going to drop, and how many is it that we're going to need to actually do this retrading? Is this actually going to be something that, you know, it's rare to find, or you need tons of, or that's kind of the up in the air where it could be a problem or it might not be. You know, if it's kind of like the thing I'm thinking the most of is the Undaunted, the Laurel recipes, like, they're pretty easy to get, right? Like, I mean, you don't get them, it's not 100%, but it's enough that you're like, okay, whatever. You're not really worried about not getting those items. So I guess that's kind of my thing. It's something that could be a problem later on, especially if they add them to the Crown Store and they're super hard to get in game and they add them to the Crown Store, right? Because if they're super hard to get, then, you know...
I expect them to be hard to get because of in-game economical reasons. Because item retrating will change the entire in-game economy. Because, like, formerly, if you are selling, let's say, Warrior Poet infused weapons, which was the last item I checked, and it was going for over 150k. Now, with retrating, there won't be a difference between Warrior Poet charged, which doesn't even sell, and Warrior Poet infused, because everyone will be able to change the trait. And to balance this loss of value in the game economy, they might make the crystals quite rare, so that the money transaction continues on crystals rather than items with correct traits. Like, instead of someone selling Warrior Poet infused sword for 150k, they will be selling transmutation crystals for 150k. That kind of deal. So that, I mean, if I was doing this, I would make them rare. But then again, I'm not sure how they are going to do it.
No, I agree. Making them rare is going to be the only way you're really going to affect at least item economy for weapons and armor at this point. Remember, jewelry will still probably have the proper traits and still be worth money, but that's probably going to be the only thing, because you probably can't retrait that because you can't learn jewelry yet, you know?
Yeah.
So that's I think we're going to go back to the jewelry as the only valuable item going forward. But
potentially,
yeah, but we'll have to see. I like the change. It's good change, but I don't know. I also feel like that might lower the type of content, or lower the amount of time people run content now, just because it doesn't matter.
I'm kind of fine with that. Because I don't like farming the same dungeon over and over again.
It's, for a non-MMO player, you're right. It's probably... MMO players, that's something we're used to doing. Like, that was just something you did, right? Like, okay.
Well, I'm quite selfish about that part of playing ESO. Like, I really hate the entire daily or farming part of this game. But yeah, that's just me hating the overall concept of MMORPGs.
Yeah.
Well, not concept of MMORPGs, but I just hate grinding in any game. So.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. It makes sense. But I guess there was a point I was trying to make, and now I just totally lost it.
I was just saying. Go ahead.
Oh, I remembered it at this point. I'm just worried that, like, are we going to see a very huge drop in content now that people no longer need to run stuff a million times in order to get, you know, get the item that they need. But at the same time, I guess, I don't know. I don't think it's that huge of an issue as I think about it, only due to the fact that the meta changes so frequently. Like, I just so happened to look at Outcast builds again, just to see what was going on. With Horns of the Reach, I'm looking at, like, the best in slot, and now it's back to crafted gear that, you know, it was once upon a time, and I'm sitting here going, when did that happen? You know, like, it went from, you know, all these drop sets and things like that to now it's like, oh, nope, if you just have Hundings and this particular thing or whatever, you'll be fine as a Stamina Templar again. And I'm just like, when did that? So, you know, it changes so frequently. I guess it makes sense that farming traits takes a super long time, and they don't want people to continue to do that.
Also, I mean, there's the thing that, like, even with the retrating, you still have to farm the items themselves, because most of the items that you use from dungeons, like, they are not tradable. So you still have to get correct weight of, let's say, Engine Guardian, which I deconstructed couple because they were wrong trade before they announced retrating, like just a couple of weeks ago or something like that. And I'm upset. Because I spent all my keys, undaunted keys, I got all the correct traits of all the other possible shoulders, except Engine Guardian. I got Engine Guardian in correct trait in light. I got Engine Guardian in correct trait in medium. I didn't get it in heavy, and now they announced traiting. So I'm upset, yeah.
Yeah, no,
But,
I mean,
finally, I will, hopefully, if my RNG allows it, I will be able to retrade that any heavy armor Engine Guardian I get. So I'm actually happy about this.
yeah, it's just a matter of you get any Engine Guardian at all, you'll be set, right? Like, that's all you need. You don't need any. I just need it in heavy. I don't even care anymore. Just in heavy, happy day, and then you're.
Also,
you got
I
what
will
you
be
need.
like retraded from divines to impenetrable or impenetrable to divines, depending on obviously how much the transmutation crystals will cost.
Yeah.
When I switch from PvE to PvP, instead of having two different sets of pretty much everything that I use, one in impen, one in divines, that kind of deal. So I'm happy about that.
I guess
as well.
that makes sense if you're. How do I want to say this? It would make sense. You have to take it to a transmutation station. So how much effort is that actually going to be? I know that doesn't sound like a lot of effort, but if you're doing like PvP, you do PvP and PvE every day. Let's just say you have tons of time to play. You spend so many hours doing this, so many hours doing that. If you're doing that every single day, you know, maybe it might be more advantageous just to farm gear that you need and have two sets.
Because
as soon as you get a second heavy, it's like, okay, here you go, impen, done.
But here's the thing. I've been playing in European server for a very long time now, almost as much as the time I spent on North American side, and I still don't have that Engine Guardian help. So I'm not. I don't want farming it. If I get just one,
I'm happy.
I'm going to keep retrading it until I run out of money. I don't care.
Right. No, it makes. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I got you. It's just in my mind. Obviously, I've been playing North America only, so I don't have any. You know, I probably had multiple. But that also kind of makes me. It's not bad, but it's something that I'm kind of kicking myself because, like, while trying to farm sets, I was like throwing away the training sets and stuff like that, and now I'm going, "Aw, if I only had kept it, then I'd be set." Oh well.
Yep. So the last part of this DLC will bring Battlegrounds. That is, if you have the Morrowind expansion. A new game mode that is called Crazy King, which is like domination, but there is only just one place that you have to dominate, and it will keep moving around the map. So, like, you dominate it here, after, I guess, a certain interval of time, it will spawn somewhere else, you have to run there, something like that. So, not too complicated, it's just a new game mode, which is okay, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's cool, but at the same time, I like this idea because I'm sitting here just seeing like the PvPers go nuts because everyone's like flooding over to the one keep. Okay, we got it, and then it flips, and now they're like, oh crap, and they're running backwards and all over the place, just trying to get back to where the as it flips around. It's going to be a madhouse, and I'm actually kind of really excited to see them do this because I think it'll be a lot of fun to see.
Yep.
So
that was the overall review of the new DLC and update 16. Of course, there will be a base game patch as well, which is free. That will do like performance stuff. And let me quickly check that. I remember something like
20% increase in frame rates across all platforms.
I don't know.
I think that's one of the things they were talking about with performance increases. Like whatever it is that they've done has apparently they've seen an increase of like 20% across all platforms, which is pretty nice. Specifically for consoles, because the only thing I'm thinking of is PC probably didn't have too much of an issue overall, just due to the fact.
Well, in the dungeons and trials, like even if I am running GTX 980, and in Dungeons and Trials, it still has problems. Like, even with the settings low, I still go down to, or in Cyrodiil, I still go down to like 20 frames per second. So, a performance improvement would be nice. That's for sure.
I don't think you're going to get that much of a performance improvement around that particular style of play, only because, well, the issue isn't just graphics in that case. Yeah, it's much deeper than that. So, okay.
Didn't they mention like in earlier times something like you won't be able to see LI effects? And people were complaining like, I have to see my LI effects, make it toggle thing. Yeah, I think we actually discussed this.
Yes,
I don't know if it's in this game update though.
I don't know if it was this one, but I know what you're talking about. I definitely know what you're talking about.
I hope the performance improvement they are talking about isn't that, but because I don't want that.
No, because
I want to see everything.
Well, I mean, especially for highly skilled PvP and even PvE, needing to see ally effects, like needing to see where a spear lands so you know when to use it, those are things that you need to see to know when they're going on, right?
Yep.
So, no, I agree. It should be at least toggleable, but I get what they're saying. That would increase, that would make for better performance, but also worse game. At least gameplay, I guess I should say, not game, but yeah.
So also for the last thing, Xbox One X support and trait tracker system that will allow you to see whether or not you have researched the unique trait on an item.
I like that as far as it goes, because obviously, well, for me, it's probably not that big of a deal because I've already have everything, traded out or maxed out on my character. But if I was doing it on alts or whatever, yeah, that might be useful. But I mean, it'd be helpful for consoles. But everyone on PC probably already had an add-on that did this.
Oh yeah.
I know I do. But my problem is I'm not going to be able to remove the add-on because the add-on also does a bunch of other stuff that is helpful. Because no one just made an add-on for that. Because it's like, okay, that's just one very helpful part of the overall base add-on. So I highly doubt that's going to be something that will see too many people changing. Because I know I wouldn't get rid of the add-on just because then I'd lose some other stuff that's helpful for crafting.
Yeah.
So
last item on the news section is the controversial, at least for us, Crown Store Showcase September. Now, the first thing actually this is controversial for rest of the Twitter, as far as I can see, is that it only consists of 4 items. There are 2 emotes, which I am not happy about. Having emotes on the Crown Store feels so weird.
It does actually, and I mean,
Like
we've talked.
personalities? Okay, but just single
Even that I'm not real fond of, because that's something in my eyes should be part of base game just for like the role play aspect of these things. Like, why would you like? I've never heard of another game ever that actually monetized actions. Actually, I guess I should take that back. Final Fantasy 14 started doing that.
Oh,
Yeah, they started doing
I don't
special
like that
emotes.
game anyway.
Yeah, well, neither here nor there at that part, but they started doing that, and I thought it was weird there too. But I don't know. I don't like that. Just because it feels like. Thank you. They finally brought me water. Thank goodness. I was getting parched. Ooh. Not really. It's so tiny though. Oh my goodness. I hear her laughing up there. She's just laughing at me. Yeah, I won't like it. And I mean, there. I said it. I don't like it. I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
You can't
I mean,
make
even
me
if
like
it's
it.
like 100 crowns per emote, just having the idea of emotes in Crown Store.
Yeah, I know. It just feels weird, and I really just am not real fond of it. It just doesn't make me feel good. I don't like it. Just because I feel like that should be something that's part of the base game.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, here's the thing. It feels like you get base PvE content, you get base PvP content, you have access to the non-base PvE, PvP content if you have ESO+. But if you're a role player, you actually do have to spend crowns. Well, not really, but if you want to increase your experience as a role player,
If you don't want to just stand there.
Yeah, if you want to use personalities, if you want to use costumes, houses, things that improve your immersiveness while role-playing, which is a very big part of Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Like, there are major role-playing communities out there that are doing events that are spending more time on role-playing than they are doing anything else in this game. They have to spend a lot of gold, or like at least for some of the houses, or a lot of crowns to get all these costumes and things like that. And the ratio of in-game like items or costumes and whatnot available in-game compared to the things that are available in Crown Store is too low.
Oh yeah.
Like, there are only 3 mounts you can get in-game. Like, how hard it is to add.
It's not.
Like, I don't want, let's say, like Nightmare Horse in-game. Like, that's not even appropriate for roleplay anyway. But like, add, I don't know, maybe add a guar, just a simple guar, let's say. I hate guars, but like, many people like them. Like, add the most simplistic guar in-game, available with gold.
Yep.
Add a couple more horses. It won't affect your crown sales that much, but it will make a lot of people happy.
Yes, I can tell you right now, absolutely. And that's actually, like, you hit the nail on the head here. One of my biggest issues with ESO, like, it's honestly my only issue, is their cash shop. I mean, they are one of the most cash grabby companies I've ever met, ever, when it comes to their cash shop. Everything is cash shop. Everything. I've not played a game that had so much cash shop stuff and so little in-game rewards. Right? Like you said, in terms of mount. When was the last time they've added a mount as a reward, or even just something you could get in-game? Launch? It was launch?
Yeah, launch. It's the same 3 horses that are available.
Yep. Everything else has been cash shop. Everything else.
I'm just glad that they at least add a couple costumes and whatnot every DLC. But like,
they add maybe one, maybe 2 at tops. They have been adding mini pets into the game, but they're still very rare. But the thing is, the balance is off. When you get one, all right, let's put this into perspective. You get let's say 2 costumes, okay? 1 polymorph and 1 mini pet, okay? On average. That's not even every time, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that's what they get. Every patch, all right? So that's every quarter, every 3 months. That's what you get, okay? In that time, they do 3 full cash shop Crown Store editions, which on average consist of 1 mount, 3 or 4 costumes, 2 or 3 mini pets, as well as a handful of other things, whether it be emotes or aesthetic items such as haircuts and things like that.
Yeah.
Every month they do this. So times that by 3, you're going to see this massive imbalance between what is in-game, what you can earn in-game, what can make you feel accomplished, and what they have in their store. And that is a problem. Because I know there are people who say, oh, it's just cosmetic. Because some people don't care about that, okay? Some don't. And I can't say that, I was listening to Elder Scrolls Off the Record, and they talked about what we were going to talk about next, about the house. And Rage was more or less saying he doesn't really see too much of an issue, but then again, he can see where the problem is, but he doesn't really care because he doesn't care about housing, period. Like, it's just not something that, floats his boat, if you will. It's just like, whatever, I don't care. But for some people, that is a very important aspect to the game that has been taken away because it's Crown Store stuff only, right? So, anyway, we'll continue on. Maybe we'll continue on. Hold on. So there we go.
So, yeah, I mean, what I was trying to say while you were not hearing me.
Yeah.
Housing brought a huge user base back as well. Like, many people just came back because of housing.
Yep.
So,
housing is an incredibly popular feature. Like, people love that kind of thing. Absolutely adore it. I mean, I'm one who loves it.
Yep. I mean, I understand people not caring about cosmetics, and it's like one of the main arguments is that it's just cosmetics. You don't lose anything if you don't get it. Well, you don't roleplay, I guess.
Well,
or you don't play this game for the one of the main reasons I suffer Elder Scrolls Online as an MMORPG is because how great it looks, and is because of the immersiveness. Like, I don't care about the farming, I don't care about the grinding. I'm not even max CP yet, and I've been playing this game since early access.
Yep.
It's because I spend most of my time just running around, enjoying the world, doing housing stuff, taking screenshots, role-playing, dressing up my character and whatnot. That's my gameplay for this game, and they're locking that up behind a huge cash shop, which you can't keep up with your crowns from ESO Plus.
No.
That is, if you can keep up your ESO Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like you said, you get 1,500 crowns a month if you just, go month to month, whatever. But they're often, as you said, making gold. The only way to actually get everything would be you're going to have to buy crowns, obviously, because they put 5, 6, 7,000 crowns worth of stuff in there every month, and maybe even higher, depending on what it is they're adding, which we'll get to here in a minute, obviously.
Not even everything, by the way. Like, you can't even buy perhaps 1/4 of the Crown Store showcase with your 1,500 crowns of that month. So.
1/4, I doubt it's even that high. You're being generous now. No, but you're very true. You're very true. Like, you couldn't buy a mount. You absolutely could not buy a mount.
Yeah.
But the thing is with aesthetics keep people playing. Like, people will farm dungeons over and over again for an aesthetic. Like, if there's a mount drop in a dungeon or something, oh my goodness, they'll do that constantly. Even after, I did this in World of Warcraft between expansions. Like, we'd go back and do old raids and stuff like that just for the chance of maybe that mount will drop this time, you know? Like,
Yep.
Asari from Tamriel Foundry, him and I often go into these big discussions. We've spent so much time going after cosmetic things in World of Warcraft that kept us subscribed and playing for far longer than the content did, because they gave us something to strive for that wasn't just playing our wallets. Because here's the thing, you can play wallet, which is true, but eventually it comes a time where either the person can't afford it or they're just tired of it and they'll move on. Or even if they can afford all of it, there's no real pleasure in going. Like, I can buy all the mounts and everything like that. And okay, I bought it. I'm done. Well, I finished your content in a week. Why am I still playing? Why am I still logging in? Why am I telling people about your game? You know, like, that's what I think they're missing. And Isha in chat said, I spent a month on a rep mount in WoW. Like, literally just doing rep related task, like, you know, essentially leveling up Mages Guild or Fighters Guild, just for the chance, because they sold a mount, but only when you were at the highest level. You know, that kept people playing past finishing the quest in the area, or even finishing an entire zone. Like, so when you remove that, when you don't give people something to strive for, people leave. And now going back to retrading, you're removing the only other thing that actually kept people doing content over and over again. It was for item drops.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. Like, yeah, that's it. And Monaco in chat, which also, by the way, shout out to Monaco for being our latest Patreon subscriber too. I actually shouted out on one of our other podcasts, but I forgot to do it on this one. Thank you so much, man. He's been farming a dungeon for a week to get the Theodolite pet. Yeah, it's the one Dwemer pet, because you have to, you know, get the different parts and stuff. He's extending that content. That content was probably done for him in, like, what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? He's now spent a week on it. That is a week longer that he's been playing your game to go after a cosmetic. Because people will do that. Because cosmetics are what drive people. And that's just it. ZOS is banking on that. That's why they put so much on there, because they know people will buy it. Because, oh, you know, if I can't get anything in-game, so I'll just keep buying stuff from them. Which, you know, people say, hey, it's good for the game. I don't know. I don't think it is, because you then start getting people going, wow, I'm playing my wallet more than playing this, and eventually there's like, well, the game's doesn't have anything for me. I finished everything. I'm just gonna unsub, which means you're not getting the monthly subs. You're not getting them watching your Crown store. You know, it's a problem. There needs to be a balance. There really does. There needs to be a balance between your cash shop and what you put in game. Even, like, and I think it should be more or less than this, but even if it was a 50-50 split, they add one mount to the cash shop, add one to the game, that would at least give incentive, and I definitely wouldn't feel bad. Yeah, they probably in the long run, you know, they might lose some microtransaction stuff, but you'll be making me play much longer. So I'll be continuing to sub and continuing to play your game and buying your DLC or subbing, so I have your DLC and your expansions, because I'll be farming those cosmetics. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with ZOS, because clearly they don't care. They don't care.
Oh yeah. I mean, at this point,
they've proven that. They've proven they don't care. When it comes to their cash shop, it's everything's going in. That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I was finishing that thought.
No. It's okay. It's okay. I was just making sure. At this point, it's quite important to mention that when we say ZOS, like we are angry with ZOS or whatever, we don't mean the developer team or like the community managers and whatnot, they are great. Like this game, of course, I didn't play too many MMORPGs, but overall, in terms of community management, community team, may it be a bank or may it be one of the like other services and whatnot, they have the best team, at least in my experience. And dev team, I always said that like they are so involved with the community, whether if they actually listen or do what we give as feedback or not. You can see them everywhere. Like they are on the forums, they are on Twitter. You can actually interact with them, and that is a great thing.
Yeah. No.
What
yeah.
we have problem is with the marketing and business department of ZOS.
100%. Yeah. You are absolutely right there, Ark. That is, yeah. I mean, I love the community team. Gina, Jess, they're amazing. Rich Lambert, he's awesome. Yeah, as well as everyone else who's there. Like, I've interacted with these people. They've been on our show before. They're awesome people. But very often not. These guys don't have a choice. They listen to feedback on things that they can affect. Like gameplay related stuff. Absolutely. They're on that. But when it comes to marketing, I don't think they have any say whatsoever. I really don't. And the ZeniMax marketing department, they're terrible people. They really are. I don't care.
I mean, if I ever get employed by any chance by ZeniMax Online in the future as a developer, I'll have to do what they say as well. Like,
I'll have to
create something. Yeah, I'll have to create something that will end up in the cash shop or whatever. So you don't really have a choice when the money is involved. But I just wish marketing department also cared about the player base like the others. But I mean, it's their job to care about the money. But come on, have some mercy.
Well, yeah, mercy's one thing you could say, but I mean, there's also the idea of goodwill
or dignity. I don't. Yeah.
The goodwill of the player base. So when you have goodwill with your player base, people will continue to come back. You'll eventually just breed so much resent that no one's going to really care one way or the other about your game. And I mean, honestly, I'm getting to that point. Like, it disgusts me when I see their crown shop stuff because I'm just like. Psh, like I've not bought crowns. I did not buy crowns when the sale was on. This is the first sale that I've not done because I've just been so disgusted with their monetization policies. I have not bought any crowns when it was on sale. And before, I would stock up like crazy. Nope, won't do it. Honestly, I've hit that point where, and a lot of people know this with me, that other games are coming up in the future who have less... Or at least, I mean, obviously the proof's in the pudding, but something that's complaining is they have policies and stuff about no cash shops or not being cash grabby. So if they do have one, that there's supposed to be a balance. And if that's the case, ZOS, I might not be here. Like, because why would I want to continue giving you my business if I just don't care about your marketing people? Like, that's what you're doing. You're driving people away, and that's what I feel like right now.
Yeah, I mean, there are some serious MMORPGs and whatnot coming in the near future, and like Elder Scrolls Online, when it was released, was on, I guess, empty space of MMORPGs, because I don't remember there being a lot of new stuff. It
hit a point where there was a real law. Yeah, there was a real law.
And now it's about to change, because there are a lot of things that's on its way.
Absolutely, there are a lot of indie projects that are really starting to gain a lot of momentum. And I want to address this from chat. Hold on, I'm actually even scrolling up right now so I can pronounce your name correctly, because he gave me Ekasugami. Okay, there we go. You don't have to sub to play, and playing without a sub is still fun. So, yeah, a lot is in the cash shop, but tough to balance. It is still monetarily beneficial to them while still playable anyway. True. That is very true. Like, yeah, you're right. You don't have to have a sub to play, and obviously the cash shop is there to target those people who are not subbing, right? But I still feel like there is a point, where you eventually go, and it doesn't even have to be like this. Let's let's talk about net neutrality for a minute, shall we?
Wow.
Yeah, no, this is fun. Because what was one of the proposed things about net neutrality, and I think one of the things we saw was Comcast was one of them that was doing this, as well as some other internet service providers, where they decided they were going to microtransaction you. You no longer have an internet connection. For $10 a month, you can watch YouTube. For $15 a month added, now this is all added to your bills, right? You can have online gaming. Do you like watching Hulu or HBO? Well, and that's going to be another $20 a month added to your bill. They want to piecemeal out what you can buy from your subscription, so to speak. And people are nuts about it. They're like, "Are you crazy?" Like that it's that same mentality of eventually people go, "Okay, I'm seeing the writing on the wall here." Not everyone's going to be affected the same way. I can tell you right now, my grandmother, who has internet right now, isn't going to care. Oh, you mean I can pay a lot less per month, and all I really care about is checking my email and going on weather.com or whatever the heck it is. Is she going to care that she's not paying for YouTube? No. Is she not going to care she's not paying the Twitch subscription for your internet service provider? No. So some people, like I see what you're saying, Iksugami, that it doesn't affect everyone in that level, but it affects a lot of people. And eventually you get to the point where you're like, wow, this is just really money grubbing. And I don't even feel like I'm getting an entire product anymore if I don't buy into these stuff. So yeah, I agree. There needs to be a balance when your game's not pure sub. I agree. There needs to be. But there also needs to be something to keep people playing in the downtime. That's my argument. Sorry for getting heated, but obviously this is monetization in MMOs is something that is very near and dear to my heart, something that I am very passionate about, and I tend to go into long rants, which I know we didn't even get to the big issue, which was the house that they're adding.
This is just the
This is just the pre-argument to what we're really going to rant about. So they started adding houses into the game that were cash shop only. Okay, while kind of scummy, I'm not really that big of a deal if they weren't limited time. Okay.
Yes.
The limited time is what really, really, really gets to me right now. And it really does. Because they're essentially taking this thing, which, if based on the other ones, we're looking at probably 15 to 20,000 crowns, right? So for the people who don't buy anything with crowns, and they're subbing, I get it. They were subbed up. But if you're not, that's almost, to get this house, that's almost, 9 months or more of being subbed without buying anything to actually just have the crowns naturally. Or, or maybe even longer. So you're sitting there, and if you're not one of those people, you're going to have to buy crowns, right? So, and at normal prices, to get 20,000 crowns, let's see, that's $39.99. Actually, no, here's a perfect example. 20,000 crowns right now, because they just added it back in. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. Just because I want to make sure I'm right. Come here, web browser. Come here. Elder Scrolls Online. Not Elder Bierman. What in the world is that? I don't even know what that is.
In the meantime, the Lin Shall Grand Manor, I'll just squeeze the information in there as well, will be available from September 14 to September 18. So it's just 4 days.
Right. So 4 days. All right, so let's say it's not 15,000. You can buy 14,000 crowns for $99.99, $100. Okay? So you're looking at $100 in crowns if it's only 14,000. All right?
Yep.
And just for giggles, I'm going to open up the cash shop here, and I'm going to look at probably the closest equivalent that we have, which is under housing, and it's the notable house, High Hold might do it, but the Earth Tier Caverns. I'm going to go ahead and preview this bad boy. I'm actually even breaking what I'm doing to do this, just so I have an idea here of what the crown cost is going to be. This is the only cash shop only house that's been added to the game that has been permanent. They've done this 2 times before. They did it once with the Tropical Island, and they did it again in Morrowind with the Telvanni Tower. This will be the 3rd time, I think. It might even be more than that. I'm trying to think. Was there another one?
No, I think it's 3, yeah.
Okay. Oh, perfect. This is perfect. Unfurnished Earth Tier Cavern, 1,300 crowns. So, okay. $95 in crowns. $95. I don't know about you, but that's more than, well, I guess that's not more than what I paid on the game, because I bought the collector's edition, but that's more than what most people bought on the game. You know, like that, $100 for the house if it's 1,400, like what this Earth Tier Cavern is. 1,400 crowns. It could go as high as 20, which you can buy now on the Crown Store, by the way, for a whopping $150.
See, $100, I can survive probably 2 months with $100.
Yeah,
$100 is how I. It's how I stay alive.
Yeah, what Scooter says. Oh, what a steal! Yeah, that's what it feels like. Right? I get it.
Also, apparently, they increased the crown prices.
Oh yeah, in the EU by like 20% or something like that.
Yeah, from $24.99 to I think $29.99. I won't I didn't check it myself, and I won't give names about who actually said it, but
yeah, they
check it right now. I see the European prices. Yeah.
Okay, you see the European prices, but yeah, from what I'm seeing, the EU got a boost up in price by like 25%, which was kind of like stealth added. I don't think anyone knew about it.
5,500 crown pack is now for 35 euros.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I never checked the crowns before, so I don't know if they actually got an increase, but yeah.
Let me put it this way: I know the source you're talking about, and they're reputable. So I believe them. Like I definitely believe them. So I mean, I can't check. I don't have the EU pricing, so I can't check it. But yeah, no, I don't doubt it. So yeah, that got increased as well. But yeah, you're looking at minimum $100 to buy this house. Okay, $100. Now, okay, I get it. Okay, if this was permanent, you could either A, let your crowns add up via subscription, or save the money and buy crowns, right? I would not have an issue. Well, I'd have an issue, but less of one. My issue is more stemming from not adding things in the game. But so far, the housing is about the only thing where they've actually done a good job with adding things into the game versus the Crown Store. That's the only thing they've done well. So it wouldn't bother me. Like the Earth Tier doesn't bother me because it's at least in the store. You know, it has been since it was. Well, I don't want to say indefinitely because they've had a habit of removing items from the cash shop, which I think is the dumbest thing on the planet. It's just
my poor Yokuden charger. I just can't buy my Yokuden charger again on the European side.
It's them trying to do artificial scarcity. That's what it is. Artificial scarcity. They're trying to panic people into buying stuff. That's what they're doing by removing it. It's like they don't need to make room. It's a line in a database, for crying out loud. They're doing it because it's a proven seller. It's what makes people buy this stuff. Like people will buy it because they're like, oh, if it goes away, I'm not going to get it again. So people will buy it. It's a marketing tactic, and the guy who's doing this, or girl who's their marketing knows what they're doing, and obviously it's working well. So
I mean they are definitely experienced and they know what they are doing. It's just that they choose to. So Well, I mean, it's their job to do so. It's about who actually hired and wanted them to do so.
Yeah.
So you just go up the ranks
Yeah. Or
in ZeniMax Online if you start if you look at the chain of command. But
yeah.
it's just whoever decides on the company policy overall. That's the problem. Like, make more money. We don't need it, but we don't care.
No. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I feel about the whole thing.
Another problem I have with this is okay. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say 4 days is the issue. Like they only announced it. They've given us at most 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks to budget at least $100. Unless you have some saved. But let's say you don't have any saved. $100. If they had given us a little bit more notice, I still don't like time limited stuff, especially not for this amount of money. But it's just 4 days is really crappy. Really, really crappy. Wow.
Scooter says, I read a post about the increase and they made it sound like they did everyone a favor by not increasing it earlier.
Yeah, I know, right?
Also, he also said it hurts me so much because I love the game but hate their marketing so much. Exactly. Like, I love the game. I can't stop playing the game just because of this marketing.
I can.
Makes me upset. It just makes... Here's the thing. If enough people changes from Elder Scrolls Online to another game, I'm going to go as well because... What am I going to do if you guys aren't here? Like, am I going to just stare at a tree in game that is beautiful? No, I'm going to change game as well.
Yeah.
Because, it's an MMORPG. It's fun when you play with people. Otherwise, we'd all be playing Skyrim or Oblivion or Morrowind and would be doing a podcast about it. Like,
right. Which we could.
Yeah.
Which we could. And sometimes I'm thinking maybe that's the better option, but... Yeah, and I echo what Scooter's saying in chat. I do love this game. I mean, I've been doing a podcast about this thing for 3 years now. Like, if I didn't love the game, why would I still be doing it? But their marketing just it disgusts me. It really does.
Yeah.
It's...
You know what? If they also added another Nibini style house, maybe not as majestic and whatever as this, but available with in-game gold. In Gold Coast or whatnot again, I wouldn't be this upset either again. But This is the only Nibini style house in the game. Only house in Gold Coast. And it's crown only and it's limited time only.
Yep.
And I just love Nibini style houses. Like, one of my role-playing character is from Nibini's hierarchy or bureaucracy or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
An Imperial battle mage. Like, I want to bring that character back into play. I would if I had this house. I would if I had any other Nibini style houses. I just don't feel it like it right. But yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't like the fact that this crown, because I remember when this was on the PTS. Remember, you and I were talking, and you're like, I remember saying, about it being a crown store only thing, and I'm like, just watch what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
I
was hopeful. I was like, maybe they won't do it this time, and everyone was like, and when I tweeted to Elder Scrolls Online on Twitter, like, you had to do this, limited time only, didn't you? And everyone was like, you didn't expect that? Like, how naive are you? I was like, I had hopes. I believed.
Isha said, I thought they said no houses in DLC zones. They did, but I think they realized that the houses, you could now sell houses. Like, you'll notice that none of the houses in DLC zones are there except for the cash store only ones. Like, literally, like, there's none other that are in there. Well, I guess...
Oh, yeah, there are no in-game houses that you can buy.
No, because even Hrothgar's High Hall or whatever is accessible via a map icon in Craglorn.
Yep.
Because, like, if I go to Craglorn right now, which I'm going to do...
Like, Falkreath Hall as well is accessed from Craglorn.
Yep. Because there's the Blood Forge, and over here is Falkreath Hold. So this is where you would go to get towards that house. because it's
Well,
part of
Falkreath doesn't even have a zone. So
yeah, it doesn't have a zone yet, so you get the house via that dungeon. But yeah, the only one that's added is that one. So I don't know. I mean, I think I've said this before that Zos is. I don't want to. This isn't the first time they've broken their word to us, but I honestly believe it's something along the lines of, it's not that they broke their words, they were told one thing, they told us, and then they come back and someone else above tells the developers, yeah, we decided not to do it that way.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I feel bad about all the community managers in this business, because all of them, not just in ZeniMax Online, but probably all of them has to deal with this, like, they are being told something and they announce it, and then when it's changed, they get all the bad talk from the people. Like they tank the people for higher up. So community management is indeed it's a difficult job, that's for sure.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
So then don't take your anger on Gina and Jessica, people. Just keep that in mind. They don't have anything to do with this.
Yeah, Scooter says it has to be so frustrating as a community manager or dev to get when those things are changed out of their control.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right, well, we've spent a lot of time on that. Was that the last of our news arc? I think it was.
Yeah, that was I left that to last because I knew we were going to rant.
Yep, and I think we even said it on Twitter, like, I can't wait to rant about this. Cause...
we hadn't ranted about it in a long time, because, like, for the last few weeks, we were like, or not just few weeks, but we kept saying we already talked about it, so we avoided ranting about it. But this Lincham Manor was something that both of us really wanted to get. So it kind of triggered the rant, I guess.
Right. All right, guys, it's time for the lore section of the show where we get to talk about the 36 lessons of Vivec.
Which sermon are we on?
We're on Sermon 10.
Sermon 10?
Yeah.
36 Lessons of Vivec. Got it.
Yeah. So, Sermon 10. So, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put on my best voice here. But we also have one other lore thing that it was a request of the community, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But first, gotta set myself up, throw my Khajiit off my lap, because that's not going to happen anymore. I don't want her on my lap right now. Just don't want her on my lap. All right, so 36 Lessons of Vivec, Sermon 10. You have discovered the 10th sermon of Vivec, which was hidden in the words that came in the aftermath to the Hortator. The invoker shall raise his left hand empty and open to indicate he needs no weapons of his own. The coming forth is always hidden, so the invoker is always invisible, or better, in the skin of his enemies. The eyelid of the kingdom shall fill 30 and 6 follows, but the eye shall read the world. By this the Hortator needs me to understand. The sword is an impatient signature. Write no contracts on the dead. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Boetaya. We pledge ourselves to you, the frame maker, the scarab, a world for us to love you in, a cloak of dirt to cherish, betrayed by your ancestors when you were not even looking. Hoary Magnus and his ventured opinions cannot sway the understated, a trick worthy of the always satisfied, a short season of towers, a rundown absolution, and what is this? What is this but fire under your eyelid? Shift ye in your skin, I say to the Trinimac eaters. Pinch your voices into the color of bruise. Divide ye like your enemies in the houses, and lay your laws in set sequence from the center. Again, like the enemy corners of the house of troubles, and see yourself thus as timber, our mud slats, our sheets of resin. Then do not divide, for yet is the stride of the Sithets quicker than the rush of enemies, and he will sunder the whole for the sake of a shingle. For we go different and in thunder. Sithis is the start of all true houses. Built against stasis and lazy slaves, turn from your predictions, broken like false maps. Move and move like this, quickened against false fathers, mothers left in corners, weeping for glass and rain. Stasis asks merely for nothing, for itself, which is nothing. As you were in the 8 everlasting imperfections. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec. Understand that Sithis still travels. Vivec says unto Hortator, remember the words of Vivec. In a phosphorescent mirror of the sky, Vivec says unto Hortator, remember the words of Vivec. Drowned and smiling. Vivec says unto Hortator, remember the words of Vivec. Intermediate hopes enough. Vivec says unto Hortator, remember the words of Vivec, to answer all the things. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec, not yet queried. The ending of the words is Om Sylvie.
Oh, wow. Like, I understand pretty much nothing, but the reading itself was awesome.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. This one is different because we see a couple keywords here. I mean, obviously he's referencing Daedra, right? Yeah. Boeotia, instead of Boethia. We've heard the term Hoary Magnus before, which was in Lesson 36. I've heard a couple things on this, and I've actually tried looking it up here for Hoary Magnus because there's some weird things with this. Because some say it's like a weird Ysamir or Magnus relation, like it's 2 or both or 1 or. It's weird because when you see Ysamir, the forefather, they talk about Hoary Magnus at that point, but of course Magnus is also one of the Etata that left in the beginning and tore a hole through to Mundus. So you're seeing these different layers. I mean, Hoary Magnus could indeed be, Magnus that we see from that tore through into Aetherius. I've heard people say it could also be Hermaeus Mora, he's referring to here. Sithis, I always pronounce this wrong. It's Sithis it, which is obviously Sithis, because he's referring to, for we go different and in thunder. Sithis it is the start of all true houses, built against the stasis and the lazy slaves, referring to Sithis being the void. Because if you remember when Anu and Padme struggled in the void, that the blood of Anu became the Aedra, while the blood of Sithis became the Daedra, which is who he's referring to here. Shift in your skins, I say, to the Trinomac Eaters, which is Boethia, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, because Trinomac was eaten by Boethia and excreted out to become
Malakath.
Yeah. So you're seeing some interesting little ties in here to Daedra that he's referring to, and Daedra that aren't, because obviously the Daedra that the Dunmer follow are the 3 good Daedra, Boethia, which is 1, Azura, and why am I drawing a blank on the last one? Minfala. Those are the 3 that are said to embody the Dunmeri way. And then you have the 4 corners of the House of Trouble, which Molag Bal, Maroon's Dagon, Sheogorath, and I believe the last one is Clavicus Vile, I believe. Why am I drawing?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember the 4th one now. I should have studied this ahead of time. But you have the 4 corners, but there's more Daedra than that.
It actually says Molag Bal, Maroon's Dagon, Malakath, and Sheogorath.
Malakath. So that's the one I'm always kind of whatever on. But there's still a handful of them. I mean, you still got Hermaeus Mora. You still have Pyrate. You still have Clavicus Vile. Like there's several Daedra that you still have. Come on, it's my favorite Daedra. Help me out. Dawnbreaker.
Meridia.
Yeah, So there's more Daedra than just the ones that are like officially recognized as both the good and then the House of Troubles that are there to strengthen. And this is referring to the idea of Sithis being the start of all true houses, because of course the Dunmer broke from ancestor worship, which was the Aldmeri way. They are now following the Daedra, which literally translated is not our ancestor. So the start of all true houses is a way of separating out that the Dunmer were away from the ancestors. And, the start of all true houses is within the Daedra, and Sithis, or Padme, is the start of all of that. Whew. So, chat room, did you enjoy that reading? I really put a lot into it. Like really,
it was great,
really,
at least on my side.
Yeah. Did you like my sermon reading? I think I was really practicing on those and really trying to put in the effort, like that you would go into reading these things. I think what I should do is they used to do this, and I'm sad that I've never really got into it, but I remember watching in the Tribunal Temple in Morrowind, some role players actually doing the 36 lessons. I should do that in voice chat, but do it actually as, a sermon and like shout it out. I think that would be a lot of fun. Okay.
Definitely would.
I definitely think that would be a lot of fun. I mean, people have actually been loving this section. They've been loving going over the 36 lessons. So the other question that I had was from our own robot dancer. And she was very interested in the Meomir, or the Sea Elves, right? Because, of course, when you run into them, you actually deal with the Meomir a lot in the Aldmeri Dominion storylines. You first encounter them on Cathar... Whoa, I just got something or another. What's going on here? Oh, Rex 35. Thank you for the follow. Sorry. His names. Appreciate that. So you have the Sea Elves, but you encounter a lot in Cathar and why am I saying Catharthy? I'm all tongue-tied because it's kind of late here for me, but I'm pulling it up here on the map because I want to know how to say it now, and I'm really upset that I don't remember how to say it because I'm being stupid. Canarthy's Roost. So there's even an embassy. If you go here into the main city here, like I have it up here on the map on the stream, but this is the one main city of Mistral on Canarthy's Roost. This little building over here is actually Meomir Embassy. Now, of course, as you're going through the Aldmeri Dominion storyline, when you get to the Haven, it's attacked by Meomir. Like, they're attacking. And then, like, pretty much the entire way through this, they attack. Like, you'll find Meomir somewhere in almost I think every zone has them. Because even when
How is it spelled, by the way?
M-A-O... Yeah, I'll type it in chat. There, I have to pick that up there. So it's M-A-O-R-M-E-R. Maormir. Maormir is probably how it's pronounced.
Okay.
So she wanted to know a little bit about these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and actually kind of explain a little bit about their history, because they're kind of neat. When you look at them, they're like all kind of like the seafoam green. So the Maormir are also known as sea elves. Our tropical elves are, in a more derogatory term, fish elves, which I think is fitting, are a race of Mer that reside on the island kingdom of Paindonia. Okay, so the far south of Somerset Isles. If you're ever interested, there's an interesting map that was done. I'm not going to say it's canon because I think someone drew it, but they added in all the lands that were mentioned. So you have like the Slowed Isles, you have Akaviri, which we really don't know much about at all, Aldmaris, Atmora, and then of course you have Yakuden Isles and stuff like that added to this map, so you can actually see, as well as Paindonia. So kind of the history of these guys, and a lot of this comes from the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. So it's believed that the Merimir of Pioneer were originally exiles from Somerset Isles. Okay, so like they were kicked out. But now there's also, again, and one of the things I love about Elder Scrolls lore is that based on some tapestries within the Crystal Tower, it says how the Merimir were most likely separated when they were on Aldmeris. Aldmeris was the original homeland of the elves, the Myr. Whereas Altmora was kind of like one of the original homelands of the humans, so they were separated out. Original, and now Yakuta was different as well. But so according to the legend, the Merimir leader King Ogrim, not to be confused with or Orgrim, not to be confused with like a Dwemer name because I've seen that around, was once a wealthy Aldmer, not Altmer, Aldmer. So the progenitor race of the elves. Now, and he used all of his finances to launch this huge rebellion in the land, okay? And him and his followers were banished for this and separated from Aldmeris, banished to this island, to a place, and it was separated from Aldmeris by this impenetrable mist, okay? It's called the Veil of Mist. Now, this boundary, proved effective that, his followers were never again disturbed from their former countrymen when the rebellion failed. And that's actually how they blocked their island. You just can't get through it. Now, they are essentially degraded at this point to pirates. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, and they've been relentless in attacking Somerset Isles. Like, they've gone back and they've attacking the Altmer there. Through the first and second era, there's pretty much didn't come to a point where they weren't attacking a coastline of the Altmer, right? And that's why we see them in Elder Scrolls Online so prevalent in Aldmari zones, because during this time period, they were incredibly active about launching a ton of assaults against the Aldmari Dominion. So the last document, and this is more for interest, but the last documented appearance of Merimir was in the Third Era, year 110, in the War of the Isle, right? Where a united alliance of the kings of Somerset, as well as Antonius or Anticolus Septim, I never pronounce that right, combining the Imperial fleet and royal navies of Somerset Isle together with their magical powers of the Sigic Order, succeeded in destroying the Pandonian invading armada. It is said that a storm brewed by the Sigic of Artaeum so annihilated Ogrim's fleet that he was never again able to muster together enough force to dare another battle. So after the Third Era, year 110, they kind of disappear from existence. Not really existence, but from all annals because of how devastating the attack was. So we've seen them. They possess like these blank white eyes, strange chameleon-like skin that's almost entirely colorless, but it's kind of like white. It's kind of weird looking, but apparently they can kind of change color. And one of the things that is said that they do is they worship this serpent, the sea serpent. Now, here's something that's kind of interesting. Like the Merimir leader, King Ogrim, he's a deathless wizard, like who seems to not only be immortal but grows more youthful by the century. He's also said to be the serpent god of the Satakal. So remember when we talked about Redguard lore and the idea of Satakal, the endless snake, the world skin? Yep. I mean, we've seen that several times. Now, this was in the book Pocket Guide to the Empire, first edition, Wild Regions. That's kind of where that was mentioned about him being Satakal. And of course, this is probably something more along the lines of rumor than anything. But they do practice snake magic, so a lot of their stuff is through serpent motifs, as well as being able to summon and tame sea serpents. So that is the Merimir. I like them.
Wow.
I like them. They're interesting. But yeah. Well,
I mean, I guess in like Elder Scrolls 6, if it ever makes it to actually a game, like there are a lot of concepts that we never actually learned, like a Kevir, Sigic Order, like Meomer or whatever they are pronounced. Like, it would be nice to actually learn more about it. Then on the other hand, it's kind of nice to not know about them as well. I'm torn, but
the mystery is nice.
To get a completely it would be nice to get a completely new set of lore that we are not familiar with, and we can only speculate about it as of now. But I don't know if they created, if they gave us more about those and created some new mysteries in the lore, that would also be nice as well.
Right. Absolutely.
I guess we'll see in about 10 years.
In about 10 years. Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, we still have like Skyrim 37 to
Oh,
release,
yeah.
so
Yeah. Skyrim for mobile VR. Yeah. We still gotta wait on that. It's funny. It's really funny.
Right.
All right. I guess that's the end of the show, Ark.
I guess, do we have any emails? Do you know?
I feel like we do. Hold on, let me look. Do I have any on the notes? I feel like...
No, we don't.
Okay,
Notes
well then I guess we read them all. All right.
Okay. Making sure.
Yeah. All right, Ark. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Arkhaniir. I've been streaming on Twitch. I just broke 100 followers, actually, so that's going good.
Awesome.
Again, twitch.tv/Arkhaniir. You can email me at arkhaniir@gmail.com. Whichever platform you want to reach me, you can, whether it be Twitter, email, on Twitch, on Discord. That is ARKHANIIR. That's it, I guess. Yeah.
Cool. Absolutely. Obviously, one other kind of thing I want to say is it's been a while since we've seen any iTunes reviews, so if there's any new listeners and you really enjoy the show, I encourage you to head over to iTunes and leave us a review, whatever you think we deserve. That helps people know that we are a real podcast and that we do indeed say words. I mean, it definitely helps, and we really do appreciate everyone who's taken the time and left us reviews. We haven't had any in a while, so it'd be nice to see a few more come in, because obviously the more we get, the more people know about us, and that gets us out there, so that's awesome. You can follow me at Aggelos, AGGELOS_WF on Twitter, as well as at Tales of Tamriel and at Dungeon Crawl Net. Those are our Twitter accounts for this show and the network. Give those follows if you want to be up to date whenever we go live, whenever we do all sorts of random stuff like that. So definitely do that. You can follow everything we do, DungeonCrawlerNetwork.com, as well as Facebook.com, Twitch.tv, Patreon.com, YouTube.com/DungeonCrawlerNetwork. I just keep trying to throw them all together since we use the same name for all of it. So check us out at all those places. It'd be amazing if you could do that. Yeah. Guess that's everything, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the sermon. I put a lot of effort into that, and I had a lot of fun indeed. So thank you so much, and I guess Ark and I, we will see you next week in Tamriel. See you later, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Elesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.